This video is going to be about why we start big goals, routines, habits, and we lose momentum on them. Why do we fall out of it suddenly? We start strong and we're like really inspired, we're ready to go, and we even maybe set it into our calendar or build a whole, habit plan out of it, and then just suddenly it goes to zero. Like, why does that happen? This might happen with going to the gym. This might happen with posting videos online. Maybe you're writing something. Maybe you're taking on a new diet or something like that. We'll take on these new habits and then just fall out of them. So basically, there's a couple things going on here. Number one is that you're used to a level of normal. You were used to doing something different. If you were not used to working out in the morning, your routine was maybe getting up and taking your morning poop and scrolling social media. You're probably more likely to do that because it's easier for your brain to go do that instead of a new routine. That's why a lot of influencers tell you to plan stuff or put it in your calendar, because it removes that forgetfulness. We'll like forget to do it and we'll just do the easy thing instead. So that's surface level. That's number one. Number two is when you first start a new habit or routine, it's likely that you're very clear on how that is going to turn out. You have some kind of vision for the future. If I'm going to start a new workout routine, maybe I want like a superhero body or something, like I want to look like Thor. You have some goal, right? You'll have some goal in your mind that's really clear, that you're like, I want to get there. When we first go towards a goal, there's something kind of chasing us usually. There's a danger or there's a pain that we're trying to avoid, that we're trying to get away from. And so that goal is supposed to help us alleviate that pain or escape that pain. And maybe let's go with the working out example again. Maybe that pain is looking weak or looking scrawny. Like, that's something that I used to think about myself for a long time. I think that I look scrawny. So I started working out so that I could feel better about how I look when I look in the mirror. So you have these elements when you first start a goal. You put it into your calendar because you want to create a new normal, right? You want to get used to a new habit, a new routine, a new way of waking up in the morning, for example. Number two is you're really focused on a vision. You have some end result that you really want to get, because number three, it's going to help you escape whatever pain it is you are trying to escape. There's something bad that might happen if you don't take on this new habit. I had one last year where I was starting to get carpal tunnel in both hands, and I write a lot, I type a lot, I do a lot of work on the computer. So that's a big problem for me. I was starting to have to buy different types of mouse pads so that I could actually do my work. And it was becoming very difficult. So I had to take on a new habit of stretching and doing particular stretches throughout the day consistently to get rid of that pain. So that's basically why we start this stuff. So why does this actually end up happening? Why do we start off so excited and then it just fades out? So basically, it's those elements that I just explained. You have the clarity, you have the pain you're running away from, and that excites you, right? You're excited to get that Thor body or whatever it is, lose weight, or you're, putting videos online. You're excited for whatever result it is. And when you first had that vision and when you first got into the habit, it put you in a state. It put you in basically a state of inspiration. And that state, that emotional state, runs on chemicals and it runs on fresh memories. And after you go to sleep, you wake up the next day, you start going through the day-to-day stuff again. Maybe you have a low, maybe something happens and it distracts you and kind of takes you out of it. You get hit again with what's normal in your life, right? You are naturally going to want to go back to what's normal for you, because that's what's easy and comfortable. That's what our brains tend to do, because that's what's least risky for us. And so what happens over time is your brain's reward system, your dopamine, it starts to turn off for that thing, because you start to meet resistance and you start to go through difficulty. And then your brain starts to think, oh, if I do this, there might be more pain than pleasure at the end now, instead of more pleasure than pain. When I first started, I was really inspired because I saw all the pain or all the pleasure without the pain. But now all I see is pain. So what do I do now? And here's what happens: your brain starts to go into overdrive because it starts to calculate that there's going to be more pain than pleasure in the future as you continue to do this habit. And so, what do you do about this? The key to sustaining long term habits in this way, just like when you first started, is to do it anyway. You go and you take the action anyway, because once you do the action and you finish, and you beat the resistance, you don't let the resistance win, you will get that inspiration back. It will start to come back and continue over time and ramp up. And so at a certain point, there's something you need to remember that's really important, is that you're going to meet resistance. It is 100% guaranteed that when you implement a new habit in your life, especially a difficult one, you are going to meet resistance at some point. You might start off sunshine and daisies. It might seem amazing. You might feel like it's going to unlock your dream life. But the truth is, you are going to still meet that resistance at some point. And the key to getting past that point is to not let the resistance win. There's no magic formula to making the resistance go away. Once you overcome that resistance, though, it's going to be easier to keep going. It's going to build momentum. So it's key that you find that point where it starts to become hard and you start to get maybe even some anxiety and some resistance in your mind about continuing, and then actually continue through that, push through it, and realize that this resistance coming up is part of the process. I said at the beginning of this video, when you have a very clear vision of what it is you want to achieve, it's going to inspire you to go towards it. So something you could do today, even if your motivation is low, is get out a piece of paper and a pen and write down, what do I want at the top? And then start listing out what you want out of your life. You can address different areas of your life like physical, mental, social, familial, vocational, financial, things like that, spiritual. Okay, so those are some different areas of life where you can actually address and go through and ask, what do I want spiritually? What do I want physically? What do I want socially? All those things. Most people end up staying stuck in the cycle because they're not willing to go do some work like this. They're not willing to go put their pen on paper and figure out what it is they want. A lot of people are not even willing to ask themselves the question, what do I want? So you're going to be ahead of most people just by asking yourself these questions and really working them out deeply. Now, if you decide to do that and it still doesn't bring you the clarity or the inspiration that you're really looking for, there's a link in the description to a course I've made called Spark. And Spark was designed to help you overcome procrastination specifically. So if you feel like you've been in delay mode, if you feel like habits have been hard to take on, things like that, Spark is going to be a program where you can go through at your own pace and you can overcome these blocks step by step. It's going to help you build massive inspiration towards the most important goal to you this year. So if you're tired of feeling like you're starting over every couple months, like you're getting into a habit or a routine really strong and then you keep falling out and you're not sure what's going on, go ahead and click that link below and Spark might be the best fit for you.